Project MR2 Part 2. In this video, I'll be disassembling a few engine parts and the suspension, and I'll tell you about my plans. Removing the intake. Trying to make sense of all the tubes. Removing EGR. It's a lot simpler without all these EGR tubes. The cams are in surprisingly good condition for 260,000 miles. Removed radiator. Here's the extremely mediocre condition of the brakes and suspension components. Next few minutes of video is me removing the brakes and suspension. I wore a fully charged GoPro on my head to try and record me working, but it died after 17 minutes, so I don't have much disassembly footage unfortunately, and while that footage plays, I'll tell you my plans. First up are the short-term plans to make the car drivable. These plans aren't in any particular order. I'll be replacing every brake caliper, rotor, pad, and brake line. The calipers, rotors, and pads will be OEM replacements, and the lines will be braided stainless steel. For the suspension, I'll be replacing the ball joints, rear toe links, coilovers, and steering rack with new tie rods as well. Later in the video, there's a clip of me flopping a tie rod around. It shouldn't flop. I'll be replacing the stock coilovers with the Matrix garage coilovers. They seem to be the best ones that aren't stupid expensive. The steering rack and rear toe links are from Techno Toy Tuning, or T3 for short. The steering rack is an AE86 rack and it has a quick ratio. The stock MR2 rack has 3.5 turns of the steering wheel, and this new AE86 rack has 2.5 turns of the steering wheel. For the wheels, I'll clean up the stock ones and throw on whatever cheap tires I can find that are the right size. The engine is still somewhat of a mystery because I haven't dug into it very far yet, but I will be pulling it out of the car, cleaning it, and replacing whatever it needs to run. No engine mods yet. Finally, I'll do a deep clean of the interior because the chipmunk left me some chocolate sprinkles. Now time for the vision of the future. Everything I want to do to the MR2. I want to make the MR2 a track car that's still livable on the street. For the engine, I'd like to keep it naturally aspirated and build it to Rev 2 and make power at around 9,000 RPM. That means I'll be stripping the engine down to the block, getting it freshened up in the machine shop, getting a stronger bottom end, cams, ITBs, free-flowing but quiet exhaust because the sound from ITBs is way better than the exhaust sound by itself, a standalone ECU, and a coil on plug ignition conversion. For the suspension, I'll be keeping the Matrix garage coilovers and the toe links, and I'll add on the rest of the T3 suspension arms. Not sure what I'll do with sway bars. I'll have to see how the car handles with just coilovers, and if I think it needs sway bars, I'll do those too. For the brakes, I'll be doing the T3 Willwood brake kit with an adjustable brake bias proportioning valve. To fit those brakes, I'll be getting some wheels. I'll keep my cosmetic plans a mystery for dramatic suspense. On the interior, I'll be getting new seats and a nice sound system. Here's that floppy tie rod I promised.